right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you all doing today? We have got a very interesting match for you guys today. I'm Jaggy, and I'm joined by Sira.
Hello, I am here.
All right. We've got some very interesting circumstances going into this match because they've actually already played. They played last week, but there was some controversy, and that controversy included Lightspeed 2 hosting with the wrong settings. They did not have room encryption on. And basically what room encryption does is it's basically a manner to prevent players from playing with fake white lines and playing on non-CTGP software that fakes white line. And yeah, it's a big no-no in this league. And the match had to be restarted, and they weren't able to play again until this week now. So, I mean, Insane are going to take whatever they get, especially since that match was a win by 2 for Lightspeed. So, I mean, how is that going to affect Lightspeed going into this? I'm not sure.
No.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, like, if you've won such a close match, and judging by what it looked like, it was a last race scrap that Lightspeed did manage to clinch out, and I mean, if you go through all of that just to learn you have to play it again, it's gonna annoy you, and perhaps that may play into them, because if they start losing races, they're gonna start possibly having that mentality that they think that they can beat them, and then that's gonna get to them every single time.
It's
they lose a
definitely
race.
Yes, it's definitely gut wrenching, and I'm interested to see how they're going to tackle that. I can't speak on Lightspeed 2's behalf, but just based on their reaction after it happened, and based on even right before this match, they seem kind of, I mean, of course, right after the match, you're going to be frustrated, but even now, like right before the match, they seem to be a little rattled. They're a little impatient. They're trying to wait for Insane to join the room, and they're like, can you guys join? Can you guys join in the chat? So we'll see how much into it. And then let's go to lineups real quick. Let's talk about it for maybe 2 minutes, because they are starting up right now. For Lightspeed 2, Mason, Nathan, Rush Wheel, Taka, and Nitro. Rush Wheel for Jed. And I did mention in right before the cast that Rush Wheel is not as strong on paper as Jed, but he's more consistent, I'd say. So it could provide more running solidity to this side, who are very boomer bust, I'd say. But on their day, they're a very strong side. Moving on to IS, though, real quick. Skimming over these lineups real quick. Insane, they're boasting actually a really good lineup, especially for a Division 5 side. We've got Gomez, Jorge, Mirimeg, Revise, and Dino. And the sub for Insane coming in for the compared to the last match is Jorge for KA. So they used a very strong lineup last week, but this is their strongest lineup going into this week.
Yeah, you'd think losing KA for this match, you think that might be a weakness, but then seeing that subbing Jorge, it's looking like it's just going to be a really close one as well. Maybe that subbing for each team may be the difference maker for either one of them.
Yeah, and sorry I went through this really quickly, because I thought they actually already started the room, but they still have 10 ends, so let's slow down a little bit. Let's talk about these people, these teams a little bit more. Yes, Jorge coming in. I'm not really sure how he's going to perform today, because Jorge on paper is arguably the strongest player in the room, but he's very in and out of the community. And he was actually supposed to play for LTA for the World Cup, but he just kind of vanished. And I think I don't really know if he's been playing that much, but Jorge, of course, is a strong player on his day, but rust is a factor in this game for some people. Some people, of course, you pick up the game and play it whenever, like a flow mat. But Jorge, from what I've noticed from his gameplay, tends to make mistakes time in and time out whenever he is rusty. So I'm interested to see how he's going to play today. And then as for the rest of the very strong.
I was looking through like Jorge, I don't think has played a single match in the summer split for IS, at least not in the division, so that could be a factor for them.
Most certainly. And we are going to be starting up here. And actually, yeah, we didn't cast actually Insane last week against Ascension, and that was a win in which they won by 100 odd points. And as for L2, I actually don't remember their last result, but don't have time to pull it up now. we are going to be starting up here. Maple Treeway coming out here to start for L2, who are the hosting team.
So BR1-3.
Yep, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Lightspeed 2 versus Insane. We are underway.
Already, you're gonna see him. You didn't. You know what? I'm not sure. Like, do you go into cut there? Like, do you go into cut? You're in 7th. You can pull an item. You cannot. We all know 3rd and 5th.
The boxes will likely be taken by the mid spot runners, so I'd say no. We saw Taka actually hopping in the cut. I believe that is him and Rosa. Yeah, and he is occupying 1st. He was able to take a good line. I believe he shroomed up as well, so possibly has another 2 shrooms to back himself up with, just in case the blue comes. I'm not entirely sure though. IS
could have golden up
on this back spam.
Yeah, and it is IS occupying bottom 2. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know where he just went, but I think they are still bottom 2 with L being what's that, 4, 5, 6. So it is IS also in 2-3 at the moment.
Yeah.
You can see if any of them do cut at the front. I don't think they do. I think Nathan's the only one that does cut.
The onus is on Taka right now to try to get IS out of top spot. So far, he's been backing tight from the looks of it. So he's just trying to keep them back. Just trying to slow them down a little bit. Confident that the L and 3, 4, 5, 6 are going to start to catch up to that 2, 3. But blue comes in onto Taka. I think we're going to see a top 2 now for IS.
So top 2, I think. Yeah, top 2, 4 for IS, which is really huge because the top 2's got a bit of a break as well. Like, it's not massive, but it is enough that the top 2 can run more confidently.
And Mason opting not to go for the boxes there, which is kind of smart because he's their only topmost spot, but of course he is vulnerable to getting redded. He could maybe already have an item to back himself up with. I think he may have a shroom here, considering that he's not pulling out anything.
No, he's a star! Okay. Well, that's really good because he could, because that could have been if IS had shock, they could have cannon dodged top 2, and that star would have stopped.
They don't have it just based on the fact that there is no shock and a blue coming in on a Gomez.
Did he dodge it? No, he doesn't.
No.
So Rush Mega for Rush, yeah. That's gonna give L first. Oh, and Mason with a star. That is that's a horrible respawn as well. Like, that is game over, and I think that's a
it's got to be an IS shock.
It has to be an IS shock at TS Mason. Is it Mason or Taka? Who's Rosa?
Either one. Taka's the Rosa, yeah.
Yeah, TS the Taka in 2nd, and that looks to be over for L, but it looked like it was a bottom 3
Is that a bottom 4? Is that a bottom 4?
I don't think so, but what happened there? Did they just both get hit on the tree branch?
Well, I couldn't really see what happened in the middle of the pack, of course. Jorge, actually it was Jorge that got TS'd, according to Merc there. Yeah, of course they're both using Rosa, so we couldn't really quite see there.
Yeah, well, one of the 2 Rosas got TS, and they were right next to each other.
Yeah, but I don't see why L would use that shock anyway, because L were approaching. It is a top 4 early on for L.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, there's no reason not to use that shock there, really. Like, it looked like Jorge was the only top spot for IS in that situation, and a top 4 off the bat, that is how you start a war. That is how you start a war, and that's how you hopefully intend to end the war. But
and I really am interested. I'm gonna look back on the VOD to see what exactly happened to the top 2. Obviously, Jorge got blued, but we saw Mirimeg. We saw Mirimeg he was in 3rd behind Jorge in 2nd, but I'm really not sure what happened to Jorge. He was right side by side with Mason. He just didn't take the cut. Mirimeg took the cut. Mason took the cut. But yeah, it was a very good salvage there for L.
It was a really good star as well. I can't tell you if that star was intentional or not, because it just looked like he was driving along there, but that was a really crucial star, and that stopped any high spot for IS happening. IS do get gardens out here, which is exactly what they do need here. If L were allowed to run any track, that would almost have been over for them. But it is gardens, so you can expect. And Mirimeg does pull a shroom straight away. He's going to shroom up into first with the Kart. He's going to be holding that front. It is Mason shrooming up. but I don't think that's enough to get him into first. No, it's just enough.
You get a draft. Yeah, he does get the draft and bumps Merrimack, actually.
Yeah, and the grass, the flowers are not a nice place to be in on this track. It is one of the harshest off-roads, I believe,
And
in the
does
game.
Mason have another shroom to back him up? Because I'm interested to see. Because if he used that last shroom, he used that last shroom purely just to draft Merrimack. And if that's the case, then Mason just really wants to dog that top spot as best as he can. And yeah, that was his last shroom that he used. So
Yeah, and to be fair, like, he has got a pretty sizable lead now, and he has really got a cut for a lead there, like, it's about the size of the cut right there for first or second, and you don't know if Gomez has another shroom or not.
even if he does, though, he has to avoid the plethora of back spams that Mason's going to be throwing out here. Backs a fib tight, and they go wide there. Usually wide fibs are pretty overpowered there, because if you go wide naturally and you go really wide to avoid the fib, you can hit the flower bed. Mason gets combo redded after the blue, though, so top 2 for IS.
That is really good, but then you have to assume Gomez does have a mushroom in first, but Mirmak doesn't have anything for second. He does get the back spam off though,
And I think
he's gonna be able to slow down a little bit, but then you're gonna be losing loads of spots just from the cut alone.
Dino was trying to get a star to drop for his top 2, but unsuccessful. It could be a sign, though, that L are holding onto the shock right now.
There is a Funky Kong not moving on the minimap. I know he's going backwards again now. I'm not sure if he has it or not.
Ooh. Rush gets backed by Revise, I believe. Still going to be a 3-4 for L. Blue comes in.
Blue does come in. That goes into Gomez. That's still a 1-3 for IS. Can L get a last minute dodge?
Oh.
Watson Mason gets the draft.
That's what I like to see from Mason. Gets 2 very important drafts, actually. I think those are the only 2 times he drafted that entire race, but 2 very important drafts there for Mason.
That was a really good draft. Yeah, that was. I think that secured. I think that was 2-3-5 for L, which is. Providing their 4th gets a not last, they can get that could be another winning race for them, and that could be them really showing their strength and why they won the first match.
Yeah. That back green by Revise on the line actually was really close to hitting Merrimack there. I think he was trying to back second place, but second went wide. Could have been much worse for IS there, but yes, very good salvage from L, especially from Mason to be able to recover from that blue and red combo.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel. Like, running top 2 on that track, going into lap 3, unless you have shrooms in both your top spots, you can't really be expecting to keep that, because that cut is like the most broken intended cut.
Yeah.
How much does that save? Like a second or 2?
The cut probably saves a good 2 seconds, yeah, at least. So, yeah, you can never depend on a lead in that track, ever, unless you pull triple shrooms in 5th or 6th, and you're pretty much gone. Other than that, though, a lead is never safe, and that was a perfect example of it. We are going to see RBC coming out now from IS.
They are 1-4, so they can draft here. They can draft. They also I think they're 1-4-6 as well, which I think that makes drafting even easier for them.
Well, second and third are probably going to take odd lines to prevent that 6th place draft, but 1-4 is definitely a good position to be in to start off in this track.
Does get the insta draft into first. I think that is Taka in second. Mirmak does hold the thing. Revise gets a draft back.
Oh,
that is.
So does Taka, yeah. So does Taka.
Yeah. That is still 1-4, just right as they started, actually. For IS.
Revise, I'm interested to see backs a Nana wide, but doesn't back it around the turn. It made it pretty obvious for L to avoid that because they saw it, but then that Nana wide around the Superman was pretty hard to avoid for Merrimack there.
Yeah, you'd think that would have been more called out. Like, that had to have been Revise's banana, right? Like,
yeah. I think Taka was able to shroom up in the first now, so he's going to be in position to maybe block the banister. Revise is probably going to have to go wide to avoid that back spam and lose a little bit more time. He has to concede it.
He does, and that. I don't think it was actually backed in the end. I think they just gave L a top 2 because, you wouldn't risk that in that situation because if the wrong item can send you off the track.
Oh, I was gonna say that IS were in position to start drafting each other to try to get up to the front there, but I think Revise actually clipped the swamp and wide backspams from L this time around.
Yeah, he had triple greens in second. You want to back them as much as you can. That's Mason in the bill?
Yes.
I can probably assume that IS are winning the bagging battle. You would hold on to Bill if your teammates in 10th.
Yeah, somebody does have the shock though. Mason does get bombed after that. I don't know if he got backspammed or hit the grass or something along those lines, but still going to be a top 2 for L. We'll see the bagging exchange. The bagger who doesn't have the shock is trying to chain for those stars, and we'll pay attention to see who has the shock. It is Nitro who's holding on to it right now.
Oh, that is a target power for Jorge, and even Revive to an extent there. That top 2 break, that isn't going away. That top 2 is pretty much gone. This is just damage control for L at this moment. You want to, not L, for IS at the moment. They just want to get 3, 4, 5, 6 and pray that L get bottom 2.
Yeah, and Nitro is hanging on through the skin of his teeth right now, trying to secure that shock, but okay, he secures it. Looks like Dino was trying to bill it out of him, but he lagged out of that bill. Shock comes in.
It looks like Mason dodged. Is that going to be a top 3? Yeah, it's going to be top 3 for L, unless... Oh, and the banana block from the blooper. Bloopers can be deadly. It's not something you hear people say, but...
Yeah, bloopers every once in a while can affect you, especially if you're going going for a shortcut like Ultra and BC3. You can't really see where you're going.
Oh,
Nathan gets
the mega on the line.
Oh,
man. That is not a good for IS.
You know, okay, I don't want to speak too soon because Castor's curse is real and anything can happen in Mario Kart. But so far, L is showing that ball don't lie. They have come out from these first 3 races from the gun right away, not wasting any time with this early lead.
And Rush with a 42 after 3, proving why he should have been subbed in and why he should have even played the first match.
So far, Rush Wheel proving to be a very good player so far in these first 3 races, and Mason has been stand out so far, and let's see if they can keep up the momentum.
The triple green back as well, which he had the triple greens out in second. He backs one tight, backs one wide on a narrow track like that, narrow corridor. It's going to be hard to avoid that. You have to have some really nimble maneuvering to get past that.
Certainly. Well, here's the thing about IS though. You can't ever count IS out though, because IS are very strong on paper, especially with Gomez and Jorge. And heck, even Revise. Revise was absolutely vital for them in the group stage of the summer split. Didn't have his best performance in the last L match, which didn't count, of course. But expect them to bounce back. I don't think they're gonna falter here, but so far it's looking bleak. If BC Week comes out here for L, they're gonna be in the back foot once again, and it does pick BC Week.
That's exactly what L want. There's no days. I don't think there is a single daisy in the race, so they don't have to worry about blocking Ultra unless someone is confident with Funky. I don't think anyone is. Well, there is a daisy.
Jorge. I think Jorge may go for it.
Is Jorge good with Flame Runner?
Not consistent, I believe, but he can go for it. He has made it a few times before when necessary. But I don't know. Okay, Revive spamming that mega, very smart.
You want to get as many of L out of top spots as possible. He does get 2 of them. I'm not sure if that's the red or the mega, but either way, that is now 2-3 for IS, and Rush is now left on his own to try to fend against them.
Yeah, and of course L are more consistent at the glitch here, and they're gonna try to block it to prevent Taka from taking it.
Yeah, that is smart play there because the glitch is almost broken. You can do it shroomless, and it saves so much time.
Yep. So we see an early 1-3-4 for IS here. Pack is starting to break among the top 6. The bottom 2. Who's that in the Rosa back there? That's gonna be, I believe. I can't
tell, but that is L in last.
Yep.
How comes out? Oh no.
Whoa.
No, in the red as well.
Yeah, he would have been fine without that red, but certainly that was an L pow to break up those top spots. 3-4-5 now for L.
Yeah, I believe that is Jorge pulling a TC in 7th, that's one of the unluckiest pulls you can get.
And Mason, I don't know if he unblocked it. I didn't see him spin out. Could he have used a Mega to try to unblock? I don't think he used a Mega either.
No, it doesn't. The back bomb as well. They're just they're making sure that the top top six.
All right, so still top 2 for IS though. And this blue is gonna be vital. Looks like one bagger is running away to shock. He pulled it since I believe early lap 2, just based on the bagging exchange right now. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the shot coming up here. If you're L, you're probably gonna want a TS. Actually, maybe second, because just try to concede first, because first is breaking away a little bit. But no shot comes in.
On the flip. It looks like that is L holding the shock. It is.
IS. Okay, L. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go for a TS though in some of those top spots.
They did see Jorge in the star in 7th. I think that was him predicting a TS on top 2. Memek does pull the bill here, and he's gonna have to bill up basically as soon as possible. Goes into 6th. I think did two people fail it?
Looks to me, at least one person did. Taka is in the back right now, and that's who you wanted to make that glitch to break up some of those top spots even further. It's going to be Mason getting into 4th, but not breaking away too far.
It looks like it might have been a good race for IS there.
Yeah, I think L were just trying to TS IS in the half pipe section. Considering that Jorge was in his dodge. I mean, it's a 50-50 decision there. If you want to shock and TS to try to, get the top spots in the middle, you can. But I think L were just hesitant to pull the trigger there, seeing Jorge in the star there.
Rush winning again on 57. You don't see that often, and that is just absolute pure domination in this room. 57 out of 60. I think the only time he didn't get first was on BC64, where his teammate got first.
Super sub Rush. I mentioned in the beginning of the cast that he's a consistent player. He's not as strong as Jet on paper, I'd say, but I mean, he's proving to be actually really strong so far. And proving me wrong.
Let's hope he can continue. Let's hope for him that he can continue that form, and hope for IS that he doesn't.
It's going to be a 50. Well, it's 55 right now. I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, that was the race 3 score. Actually, 58-point lead right now for L2. So right away, showing their dominance. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum.
They came out the gates just absolutely all guns blazing, and I mean, IS just haven't been able to stop them. A top 4 off the bat, and they've just been able to build momentum off of that. The top 3, 5 on RBC as well, which just only solidified that. IS only able to get a few chips in on Peach Gardens as well, which...
And it wasn't like L were running up there all the time every race. It was kind of a back and forth between both teams, but it was always lap 2 and lap 3 where L would get the better of the exchanges. It was always IS maybe breaking away in the top spots at first, or the spots being relatively mixed, but then L just pulling it back in lap 2 or lap 3, and every time they would end up securing a good race or even a neutral race in tracks that IS seemed to be winning. Like for example in Peach Gardens when they got the blue lap 2 and they were starting to run away with it, but then a couple good plays for Mason securing a neutral race, and then of course really good races like top 4 and MT. Here we go now, KC, start of GP2.
Both teams actually opted to vote for KC here, which, I'm not personally a fan of KC just because the track can be very, it's very random in how it plays, but it'd be interesting to see what happens here. Mirmeg does is holding that single shroom in 7th.
Yeah.
You could probably opted to chain it in 5th for a Mega. That
Mega
out.
Mega Mirmeg. We saw plenty of Mega pulls for Mirmeg against Ascension. He's confident. He's able to get those items that he needs. As for the top 2, who's in top 2 spots right now? Did you catch that?
I think that's L, just considering that. I don't know. I think it's
actually. Yeah, considering that he went for that flag attempt, it has to be IS with the favorable spots right now. Bombs Mason.
The back bomb. Oh, the Mega and the back bomb. That's... Actually, I think that's top two, bottom two for L, so...
Okay.
I mean... Yeah, that's free from IS in front of Miri. So that is top two, bottom two for L, but it's a really tight pack, and... I mean, just one cut. Like, if Jorge does pull a Shroom in third or fourth, then he's going to be in first.
Looking back on hindsight, I still feel like it would have been better for Merrimack to hold that, because I think he was able to get a Schlag off in lap 1 and take the cut, but still, I mean, in a track like this, where, I mean, shock isn't super vital, but if you use a shock maybe last set and chain into a box and get another box and catch all the way back up, it's actually going to be really good in that particular set, or maybe even like second set, taking the double grass cuts, dodging in a Mega. But yeah, we'll see how IS can handle, or let's see how L can handle securing some of these top spots. Yeah, Revive Shroom's up there. Gets redded out.
Yeah, that triple reds from Taka, that's a really good pull for them. That's exactly what they... I think that's Gomez in first. Yeah, it's Gomez in first, so it is 1-4 for IS, but even then, 1-4 is not the race they need. They need to get a top 2 or a top 3 to get back in this. Like, they can't be settling for 1-4s. And the pack is really close, though. So, like, a Shock or a Shroom could do something. I think that was Dino trying to get a star for Mary.
Is Shock comes in for L. Yeah, dodging 2 of L. Yep.
Oh, is that one of L getting caught? Wait, no. Okay, I thought he was getting...
got the boxes, I think.
Yeah, it looked like he was caught in the waterfall there, but that was a really good race for L. Mm-hmm. Once again, like, that shock does prove vital in the end, and I think L might have gotten like 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, and apparently, okay, so Nitro is Aiden. I'm getting word. Same person. So I mentioned in the beginning that Nitro coming in for Aiden. Yeah, his own doppelganger is coming in for himself, so I apologize. Same individual.
Oh gosh, it was a top 3 for L.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I thought Gomez was able to secure at least a top 2 spot there, but that was not the case. I'm trying to see what happened.
I don't know, but it looks like it just... Perhaps he had a Shroom in first and he got TS'd on the waterfall.
Possibly. Although, I don't think he would have risked going for that. I mean, if L has the shock there, I don't think he would have made that decision. Maybe he got sniped or something, but I had to double check the VOD.
Yeah, that... Once again, that's another really good race for L. Yeah. They're running away with it more and more every single race. They just... Even if they're losing, they end up just... Shocks really coming in clutch for them.
Yeah, Nitro's doing a very good job thus far, securing those shocks whenever they need it. Those shocks have secured them top 3s, top 4s. And then, yeah, looking back at the VOD now, it takes a while for it to load up, but it looks to me like I think Jorge got comboed. I think it was a shock red from the looks of it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Shock red from Rush. Yes, shock red from Rush. Can confirm.
Oh, that is, especially on that area of Cooper Cape, yeah, because you can get the bill line there can run right into you, so that's really unfortunate for Gomez and really good for L once again. But they go for DK Mountain. I mean, they do have a Daisy, but straight away it's Mason and Miri that's top 2. Revi's actually just swooping in from the heavens.
Jorge shrooming up there to try to break up the plane a little bit, but still right behind Mason. He could potentially eat a backspam.
Doesn't.
Actually, Jorge overtakes.
Oh, what happened there? Was that Revi's?
I think Nathan might have mega revised. No, Revi's just slowed down to get out of the way, but lost a lot of speed as a result.
That's a fair thing to do there. You don't want to get megaed because maybe he's holding a good item.
You have to respect the mega.
Mary does pull a blue. If I was him, I would try to get out into first and then throw the blue. I mean, L are currently 2, 3, 4, so that is a winning race for them. You don't want your second top spot to just be holding an item and not being able to catch up.
Did Mason get wheelie bumped there? I didn't quite see a backspam there. And then
Me neither. Oh gosh, that
cut. Oof. No backspams on the
lag.
cut for Jorge.
That was really good play from Nurmeg to deal with that lag. That's almost a game ender there, especially with the fact that Taco was trailing that green.
And both baggers are still jockeying for the shock here. But if you're Nitro, I'd say just try to keep it shockless as best as you can. Don't try to
I think that is just Nitro just laying in 10th, stopping Dino from getting that 10th place box.
Red coming from Meg after he slipped on that banana. So Jorge is throwing out a couple of backspams here, and so far those backspams have been connecting on L, slowing them down quite a bit and getting IS up there a little bit further. Blue comes in. Maybe we'll connect on the second. No, I don't think it will.
No, I don't think it will. I don't think that's much, but I still think that's a good race. Oh wait, no, that was miles after the line. It was actually just after the line it connected, but I still think that's a really good race for I still think that's like a decent race for L though. Like yeah. I think it's still 2-3, like 5-6 maybe, because that is Gomez fast, and I think that was revised in 7th.
Yeah, those backspams definitely slowed IS down quite a bit. L, I apologize. Slowed L down quite a bit. Mason hit a couple of backspams. We saw Miramag actually hitting one incidentally. But yeah, it was still enough for L. They had enough of a breakaway to be able to secure a good race there. A neutral race is honestly what you want here. You don't want to take any risks if you're L. If you ever get put in a position where you could take a risk, like for example in BC3, take Ultra versus not taking Ultra, you could just opt not to. Don't take any risks. IS are in position to take risks here as they're down by quite a bit now.
Yeah, and just going back from what I said on lap 1 or lap 2 when Miramag pulled the blue, like, I mean, L ended up with 2-3-4.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a pretty good winning race for them. Like, if Miri couldn't keep up there because he just couldn't put an item to stay up there. He was just holding that blue and he couldn't do anything. In that situation, at the time, Gomez or Jorge that was in first, but either way, IS weren't that far ahead in first. You could just slow down and let L tank the blue and at least have 2 people taking items.
Yeah, even that's risky though, because at times players will realize, like, you have to make sure that you make that fail in first, not too obvious, because if you just slow down randomly, they're gonna be like, oh, they're slowing down to blue me instead.
But even then, though, like, that was 2 IS versus 3 of L, and even if all of L slow down, the pack's closer for the bottom spots of IS to catch up.
Yeah, good TC pass there. Interested to see who's going to get the better of the shroom exchanges here. Looks to me like IS are in a lot of mint spots right now. We could maybe see Jorge taking the cut here, as well as either Revise or Gomez ahead of him.
He maybe does opt to use one of the shrooms early. Oh, barely makes that, so he does have to burn all 3 of his shrooms on lap 1 there. That, pulls him again in 5th, so, fair play.
It looks to me like both Mason and Taka actually took the gap lap 1 there. So they had shrooms in like 3rd and 4th. Miramag off the track. He's pretty much going to be out of this race. And do you think he should actually maybe go back in this case to try to...
No, because there is still the chance of him pulling Bill when a Bill on this track. It can save your race. It can just bring everything back for you. So
now he has a star now. And he's already really far back, so I'd say maybe try to go for the bagger here. Opts not to, though.
It is his bagger interest, and if I was the baggers here, I don't know. Like, I would probably just go back up the first set, really. Cause, I don't think. Oh wait, I think that was an IS shock. I think they did just pull the But no, it was an L shock.
Oh, it's interested to see these exchanges coming up here. Taka in 3rd, not in position to take the gap. Someone does take that, fails the gap. Let's pay attention to see who that was.
It's Taka getting TC'd, I think, or at least just getting gorged. So, Miri didn't get last, so, like, it is only a 2-point swing, but then, even then, after the end of that, you could still, didn't know if it was going to be worth it or not. I mean, that was another L shock, so perhaps Miri should have tried to star Nitro at that point.
Yeah, and also, by the way, it looked like someone failed the gap, but then, yeah, it was Taka. Actually, he had a really bad respawn, actually. He didn't respawn, like, before the line. He respawned right after the cave after he failed gap. So do you think he tried to take the wall ride?
I'm not sure. Does the wall ride give you a bad respawn?
I don't know, actually, because I don't see why he would respawn all the way back there. So I think he might have gone for the wall ride and, like, tried to cut off even more time, but he ends up failing it and gets a really bad respawn. So I'm really sure.
Perhaps he did get. Perhaps he got wheelie bumped off the gap. For some reason, maybe he's a wheelie.
No. If you get wheelie bumped off the gap, you still get the good respawn. So I think he went for the wall ride and failed it altogether.
Yeah, and like, I mean, once again, that was L getting 2, 3, 4. So that's, I mean,
still
going back.
Yeah, still a good race considering that was their shock. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's still like that's just them making the lead bigger and bigger. Like I think it's what is that? 89 points? No, 91.
No. 91. Yeah.
Yeah, 91.
You're close. DC. We see a DC now. And the rules state that the spots will remain the same. So no longer are you allowed to do like a tactical reset if the other team gets top spots. I mean, it is only a 2, 3, 4 for L anyway. But yeah, so far
one reset as well.
Last 3 races? Oh, okay. I was not aware of that. Okay. Monyz will confirm. But
teams do also only get 1 reset now, so they can't really abuse that to that extent unless they're confident on the net, and I wouldn't really risk a tactical reset anywhere but GP3, and this isn't GP3, so
yeah, IS needs a timeout. They need a timeout right now. Whose reset it was, I don't really know. It's still kind of necessary for IS just to kind of recollect, kind of regain their composure a little bit. There's still 5 races to go, so there's still room for a miracle here. But if they don't get it done now, then it'll be curtains for them, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, L have just been able to pile on win after win. The shocks coming in to really secure them on good spots, and even then, they're still in those high spots to benefit from the shock anyway. So, IS just haven't really been able to get a foothold in this match at all. They've just been down from race 1, and they've really I think they've only had 1 winning race, and that was like a +1 on Peach Gardens.
Yeah, they found themselves a lot in the middle of the pack. There were times when they were able to run. It was flashes of brilliance from them, but then the shocks just kind of changed it around. And yeah, that's also been another key factor is the shock. So far, Nitro playing out of his skin. There were some races in which the bagging battle was close, like MG, for example. The bagging battle was pretty close throughout. And in that particular race, actually, I want to see what exactly happened. Because I know, it was Nitro that was winning out in the bagging battle pretty much that entire time. But it was fairly close. But other than that, I mean, it's been a good showing for Nitro.
Yeah, and I mean, the shocks have really been they've been the turning point for most of these races. Because I mean, an IS shock on some of these tracks may have been the saving grace for them if they would have pulled it.
Most certainly. Yeah, BC I think was the only real race where the shock didn't benefit L that much. They went after the TS ramp when IS were top 2 because they saw Jorge and a star there. I think I don't know for sure if that was their intention there to hold the shock because they saw him in a star, but we didn't see a shock until after that section. But for the most part, yeah, their shocks have been crucial. And whenever they are contesting with IS for top spots, like if it's a 1-4 or it's like a 2-3-5 for one team and like a 1-4-6 for another team, L have gotten the better of the exchanges, whether it was mistakes coming out from IS, like revising the swamp in lap 2, preventing Miramac from drafting and breaking the top 2, or if it's from Mason getting important drafts to get up to those top spots, or back spams from L, those things all play a factor.
Yeah, and I want to comment back on the back spams that's been going on, because, like, L have just been ruthless with their back spams.
Ruthless and unpredictable.
Yeah, you turn a corner and bam, there's a fib in your face, and you just can't do anything to avoid it. And I mean, that has been helping them break further and further ahead. And even when they've had to dodge back spams themselves, they're moderately good at it. Like I haven't seen L take that many bananas or fibs to the face throughout this war. So definitely in the front run battle, L have definitely been able to show their superiority. So this GP is going to play out as normal alternating spots, and then race 12, I believe, is going to start off with the same spots from the Mushroom Gorge race.
It'll be a 1-3-5 for that last race, yes. So, I mean, yeah, IS were one race away from using that tactical time, or I'm sorry, L were one race away from preventing IS from taking that tactical timeout. But we'll see how well IS will be able to bounce back from this. They are picking MC3, though. Could be a little bit of a sign of desperation already. GV does come out from one of their IS players, actually. This was the lone GV pick.
I mean, GV also is a track that you can get a top 4 on.
Yeah,
Whether that goes
very consistent as a team.
Yeah, and you also there is an air to luck to get in the top 4 on this track. Pulling triple shrooms and not having it powered or blued or shocked out of you is also a very key factor. Mimic does pull a golden straight away. I mean, you got to expect him to hold it for cut and then do the golden strat.
Yeah, absolutely. There's two ways to take a golden strat. One, you could use a golden here, but you risk hitting back spams, and you may risk like not even taking the rock in general. He's going to hold it all the way till here. That is the safe way to take it, and he's going to be able to golden up to a top spot and break away a little bit more.
And but under that, I don't think anyone else near him did take rock, so he has got a significant lead. But then, I mean, the power there does come in, so it can knock Brooms out of second place. I did see third dodge it in the air, so maybe he does have something valuable that use the power is trying to keep.
By the way, Karalte's subbing in as a bagger for Dino, and Karalte, I think, got the better of the shrooms there in the first 30 seconds. It took a little while for Nitro to get those shrooms, so Karalte here slated to get the shock. He's opting to chain here instead of going backward. I think now he's going backward.
I mean, you would try to chain a few boxes there if you have 3 boxes in temp. You want to, like, every box you get is a box you can get shock in.
Fail the respawn, and sometimes that respawn is tricky. You have to hug the wall. You also have to have like a shroom or a star or just spin drift into the wall, because if you don't get close to that wall there, you're not going to get the respawn.
That is probably the toughest backward strats to do in the game, I personally think. Maybe other than BCW and not kind of fall off.
Away since 1:30 on the timer. A lot of people taking the respawn here instead of the rock. We are going to see the Jorge.
I mean, it is lap 3.
Oh, lap 3. Okay, so lap 3, 1:34 for IS. Very good finish. I was paying too much attention to the bagging battle. Didn't see the lap count. Sorry.
It's okay. Jaggy just does rock up on lap 3 in the lava.
You can't get it. You can't get a cast with me without me fucking up or screwing up dramatically. So, yeah, it's a Jaggy moment. Apologize. It's gonna be a 1:34 for IS. Good way to start off this GP. 4 races to go. They're gonna have to have their track fix though if they want to keep up the momentum.
Yeah, that's actually a 1-3-4-5. So that, I mean, if they keep on getting races like that, they're gonna bring it back. They need to just get that momentum and just run with it. They can't afford to have that momentum broken. They need to just keep that mindset that they can come back, they can get those good races, and that they can turn it around even at this state.
Would you go here for your IS though? Because BCW is already off the table. Well, MH is still in there.
So is TF. So it's either, I mean, MH is probably what I would go for. Either that or maybe Rainbow Road, just because they do have a Daisy Eldu. So, I mean, the Daisy can just get murdered on Rainbow Road, especially on the first downhill. But they
Yeah.
are opting for Toad's Factory. Wow.
Yeah, and that's what you want in 1-3-4. Well, ideally, you want to be top 4 or top 2-4, because starting off in third as an opposition player is really not the best thing in the world. Second can break the top spots, but first is gonna have to. Okay, it's MC3 anyway, so we'll see what happens here. If
You want to see 4-5 drop for boxes here, because
Mhm.
I mean you can't run it, but you also can't spend too much time trying to bag it, or else you will...
start off really aggressively, but it looks like Gomez actually got bumped by Jorge into the pipe there. Taka getting all the way up there, I think, with a golden, but hits a back spam on the way in. Not sure where that came from.
I think that was Jorge sniping. I think Jorge threw the fib Taka and with it.
Yeah,
Which...
that's smart. If you see someone like careening past you right before that U-turn section, they're goldening, and they're going to be taking that cut right before their golden end. So good work from Jorge to be cognizant of that and sniping the cut.
Yeah, and that does give Miri and Jorge a nice little break in top 2. I'm sure, I mean, it's not really what you want to have in your Mirror right there. You want to keep on backing, because this track has a lot of very nice backspam spots.
Yeah, but trimming up there does give top 2 a little bit more of a break there for IS. I mean, it's a double-edged sword there, but now they're in position to start backing here even further. I don't think Mirimeg's going to back here, considering that it's kind of iffy to back. Okay, blue comes in.
Blue comes out. Cancel, and so he cancels the blue. That's Jorge putting another shroom in second for IS. Someone comes up in the bill to revise in the bill.
Gomez in fourth. We could see a top 4 unless one of L shroom. Yeah, we do see Taka shrooming up. Actually has a TC.
Mason also shrooming up in the bomb snipe. I think there's a bottom 3 for IS.
No way. How did he get bottom 3 out of that? That bomb was absolutely vital to that race. My goodness.
That bomb, that was... I think that took out like... Oh, I think I took out 2 of IS, and I think another one of them got... I think another one got redded or something afterwards, because that shot came... Revise didn't have any items to protect himself with, so maybe he got redded.
Or one of them might have spun out. They didn't actually get bombed, but they spun out from the end of the blast. Either or, it's still such a good salvage from L there. My goodness.
And that's a complete opposite of the Granville Volcano race. So all that work they did to get that 1-3-4-5 has just been nullified.
Completely vanished. And that, I mean, that shock was fine. I don't think anybody from L dodged from the looks of it. Yeah, and dodging revise there, canceling the blue. But, I mean, L were all able to take cut. One of them shroomed up and took the cut. Taka pulled the TC and actually avoided everybody. He managed to avoid everybody with the TC, allowing him to take all of the shortcuts possible and getting TC'd right before the line, still securing a mid spot in the end. And yes, very good race, very good bomb snipe, very good salvage, and I think that could be curtains for IS.
Yeah, that could really do it. That could just...
IS bomb, can confirm.
Then what happened to that bomb? that just asks more questions. It doesn't answer anything. Why did that happen?
They saw L coming up, right? So I think whoever threw that bomb, I'm not entirely sure who threw it individually, but they were trying to nullify that those shrooms and those the TC from Taka coming up and taking those shortcuts, but it just completely backfired. And yeah, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, I mean, yet again, if you are if you are IS in that situation, you need those. You need to get the good races. You can't sell for.
And IS have to all run at least one race. They need to get a top 4, or top 3-5 maybe to start. But then after that, they're gonna need to get another top. They need to get a top 4-9, and then they need to all run last race.
That red, is he gonna? I don't think he's gonna do. Yeah, he's not gonna do double with that problem because of that red.
Yeah, it was good recovery there from Mirimeg, considering that he wasn't going to make it. But yeah, in position to pull more shrooms than he does.
I think that's L in bottom 2, so I think that's IS in top 2, 5, 6 there. with triple shrooms in 6, so being able to draft chain up into 4, 5. The Mega does come in. I think that's a bit wide. I don't think that's gonna cause any issues. Or maybe it is. I'm not sure what happened to Gomez. I know he got I think it's slow owned by Nathan there, and he gets backed as well.
That would have been so nice for them to be able to start breaking away a little bit more in top 3. But now it's going to be a 3-4 for L, since they were able to take double before Meg was able to, and Meg gets bumped by Revise.
Wait a minute. I think one of IS.
Yeah, one of IS dropped. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe there was a blue coming in. I couldn't quite see there.
Yeah, which, I mean, yeah, because that does leave now IS with 1, 4, 5, which it can be alright, but then, I mean, you can't really be sure you're gonna pull shrooms in 4, 5. You can just pull reds or bloopers or anything else.
Yeah, the shock's not coming in yet. It could be a sign. Well, spots are mixed, so I think whoever has a shock is just kind of reluctant to use it. Now it comes after the cut there. Not sure who that was.
I think that was IS trying to get. Yeah, that had to have been IS. They got all of IS in the boxes. Unfortunate, Meg only pulled the power, and that's a 2-3-4 for L again.
Yep, no dice. That 2-3-4 from L was too far broken. And I'm trying to see what exactly happened to IS's second place there, because they were in top 2, even with L taking cut there. I'm not sure if one of them failed dock or one of them got blued. I'm going to look back to see what exactly happened.
Yeah, because I mean, still running top 2 on Delphi. You know, it's a really risky strategy. It's a really bold strategy, especially when you need good spots to just to win, and that's a 2-3-4 as confirmed right there. And I mean, I know we're talking about curtains, but I think now the curtains have been drawn.
We've been talking about curtains for the past 3 or 4 races, but now they've officially closed the show. Lightspeed, that was a hell of a match. I mean, maybe there's a penalty we don't know about, but as it stands, L2 are moving on to round 3.
I mean, if you are L2, you have to feel like this is fully deserved. Like they won the first one, albeit by 2 and not by 102. But it's still what they feel like would be deserved, just because I don't think they wanted to play this match again.
No.
And yeah, I mean, IS just. You just gotta just keep your chin up and just look forward for next time, because I mean, sure, you're getting destroyed here, but you gotta remember the first time you played them, it was really, really close. So
indeed, and for some reason the past VOD won't load up, so I'm still trying to see what happened a second. I'll let you guys know. But anyway, we're gonna be moving on here on to DDR. Maybe IS can get a good race here, just for pride, just so they don't get completely blown out of the water and look back on this this match with even further disdain.
Yeah, so Meg does use the triple shrooms, did that in the first. I mean, fair strategy when the only other first was starting.
Rush. Dirty.
Absolutely.
Filthy.
Yeah, that is a really good green snipe, and that is our...
I mean, it's been the story of the war. Rush has been completely playing out of his skin this war, and I thought he was going to be like scoring like, you know, consistent 90 points, maybe making a play here and there, but my goodness, Rush has completely proved me wrong.
Oh yeah, like Rush, I feel like Rush has been the difference maker from this to the first war, to be honest. I feel like he's really just
what happened?
Shown his strength. I think both of them got blued.
I looked away for a second, yeah. It looked to me like Rush did slow down, I believe, in a blue and caught revising that blast. So if that was the case, another good play coming out from Rush. Meg in first, though. I think he's going to be able to start to break away a little bit further, barring him failing potentially.
Yeah, but then the pack is really close. So, like, Golden Ultra, that also saves just loads of time, and
Yeah. Oh, Mirmag.
you never want to touch the pillars on this track. They have some very weird physics to them, and they can send you 10 miles in the air, and they can send you underneath the track, probably.
Yeah, you
It
either want
wouldn't
to stay
surprise
away
me.
or hit the very first frame or the very first part on the left. That's a good snipe from Mirmag. Get screwing Taka over right before the wall glitch, and Taka's gonna fall behind. Shot comes in, dodging Gomez and I believe Jorge in a bill.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that bill. I mean, you just need to dodge as many people as possible. Like, if that's in that case, it was what IS going to be guaranteed bad spots if they didn't use that shock there, and they just had to just salvage anything they can.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Rush, well played, as well as the rest of L. We saw Mason step up as well today, and pretty overall solid performance from L. And IS, they were in a couple. Of course, the shock did change the races around a lot, so I'm not going to say that IS's runners completely tanked, but there were certain moments as well in which they looked a little shaky. RBC, for example, when Revise could have let Mirmag draft and break the top spots, but hit the thwomp and kind of just ruined the race there. A couple of those mistakes have been showing in time and time again. And
yeah, and perhaps when IS should have been playing a bit riskier, they played too safe, and then, of course, it costed them the race after that.
Yeah, Mirmag using a Mega as well in lap 1 of KC. And it was a shock coming in from L anyway, so he wasn't going to dodge. He would have had to try to predict that shock anyway, looking back on hindsight. But, yeah, considering that L were top 2 and he used that Mega.
The question is, though, do you... I think, yeah, like, do you hold a Mega for 2 laps on KC? Like, KC has so many shortcuts to catch up on. Like, holding a Mega.
Shock, then you could chain maybe lap 2 to get into another good box, or maybe predict the shock coming in first at lap 3. But, I mean, you don't want to hold a Mega for too long, but at the same time, I feel like that was a premature Mega use going all the way back to that race. But for the most part, it's just been completely dominant performance from L. Showed up on their day, proving that last match was a case of ball don't lie. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're just showing that we can still beat you even with room encryption on.
But hold up. Never say die, according to Alex. Yeah, they could get a couple of repicks and troll penalties, so IS are still mathematically in this.
A team could be up for 500 points and they could be mathematically still in this.
Yes, that I mean, it's very flawed logic there. So, yeah, you're right. But yeah, I finally pulled up the VOD. By the way, it took like almost 10 minutes to pull up that VOD from the Delfino race, and Revise didn't actually fail, or none of those things happened. He just didn't take the dock. I thought he had enough separation to be able to keep his second there, but that was my bad on that one. Yeah, L simply took double and overtook 2-3 there.
Yeah, I mean, dock does save a lot of time compared to just a regular route, especially if you don't use a mushroom, so...
Yeah, here we go. Waluigi Stadium here. I know Taka is... he loves this track. So I think he's going to be able to kind of... Well, he's not in a top spot right now. Actually, he is. I apologize. That is him in Rosa. And he's able to overtake first, actually. Whoever that was in second ended up flubbing a little bit. There's a little bit of lag. I think there's a target pow coming in, actually. And Taka got or Mason. Taka and Mason actually got That's Jorge. What the fuck? Sorry. 2 roses in the room. But yeah, I think at one point Sira mentioned that he had to go for like a race. Didn't know when he was gonna have to go, but yeah, I'll just commentate this last race just for craps, just for giggles. We are gonna see Mirmag using the star prematurely, trying to get up to that top 2, or actually they are already top 2, but Gomez ends up flubbing. We've seen a couple of flubs from IS so far this war, but still top 2 for IS. We could maybe see a backspam on the Taka here, or Mason, I believe, who is in a Rosa for this last race, actually. Shock comes into TS first and dodging rush wheel.
Alright, I am back now.
Welcome back.
My net did cut off for a few seconds, so I had
So
to...
Mason is Rosa now because I forgot this is the first race of the GP, so people were able to switch over, and Taka is Funky. That's kind of what confused me a little bit. Gomez ends up clipping the dirt, I believe, so he's going to fall even further behind here, and it's going to be looking like a top 2 for L with Rush Wheel broken away up there after dodging.
I mean, yeah, even on a ceremonial race like this, I mean, L still just not taking any prisoners.
Nope, not at all.
TC comes in for Miri, and that's just an 8th place guaranteed unless a last second shock calls otherwise, which it doesn't, so...
Surprised that bomb didn't connect on anybody. But it's going to be looking like a top 2 for L to finish off this race strong. Mag practicing his bagging techniques.
He's gone off the sign. He's gone to look at the crowd. He's cheering to the crowd. He may have lost, but he's fought up the good fight.
Yeah, they may have lost, but he's still a good sport nonetheless. Mag still wants to wave to the crowd, thank the crowd for coming along. You know, good sport.
And that is, I mean, top 2, 4, 5 for L.
Yeah.
If it wasn't already wrapped up, then
just to seal the deal for L. I don't know if it's a 100+ point victory, but it's rather close to it, and it was a very solid performance. I mean, we've already hit up on some of the analyses in races, 11 and 12, but yeah, it was just complete domination from L2. Did everything right, played all their cards right, and the bagger too, Nitro, did a hell of a job getting the shocks. Insane wasn't a terrible performance, but there certainly were situations in which they could have capitalized, and they made a couple of mistakes that allowed them not to capitalize. And a lot of those there were a lot of those spot mix-up exchanges in which L2 ended up getting the better of, when it was like 1-4 for IS or 1-4 for L2. It was L2 ended up getting good races, whether it was good plays, snipes, drafts, shocks. It was just all in favor of Lightspeed 2.
Yeah, and I mean, when you start off strong with a top 4 and then a top 3, it's you know you're going to be in for a good war or a tough war with the IS, and it was just exactly that. Like L, they're just running away with every race, and IS just tried everything they could to catch up, but in the end they couldn't. I think it was actually a win by 102.
Golf clap.
Yeah, that's not something you'd expect from a match that finished, what was it, 3-6-7 to 3-6-5 on the first time of outing. So
as close as you can get in this game, barring a tie, of course. But yeah, and also I'd like to mention too. That's a good point, Taz. L2 are the consensus better Lightspeed team. Actually, they were the consensus team that was. They were actually predicted above Lightspeed 1, only one spot above though. But so far the split, it's been Lightspeed 2 completely overshadowing Lightspeed 1 in terms of performances.
I mean, with a performance like that was a performance of a team that just knew each other, knew how to play to each other's strengths, and I mean, all their build up.
And real quick before we leave, I did mention in the beginning too, how will this replay affect Lightspeed 2? And it didn't seem to affect them at all. So props to them.
It seemed to even make them stronger. Like, they took out their anger on IS in every single one of those battles, and yeah, IS just couldn't figure out a way to deal with it.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much for coming along. That'll be it for us today. For tomorrow, we don't have any planned cast as of yet. We're still waiting for some matches to be organized. But yeah, we will hit you guys up on the MKPS channel and on the MKB media. We'll make some tags for matches that we end up organizing. Thank you guys so much for coming along. On behalf of Mario Kart Boards, I'm Jaggy.
I'm Sira.
We will see you guys next time.